There are only 3 STARS members left now. Captain Wesker, Jill, and myself. We don't know where Barry is.
Chris Redfield. Jill Valentine. Barry Burton. Rebecca Chambers. Albert Wesker.
Resident Chicken Zero.
Oh, fuck that up. What's up, everybody? This is my show, Resident Chicken Zero, and we're going super early because I wanted to do it now. So that's kind of the cool thing about streaming and doing your own internet show is you can just do whatever the fuck you want. I've been wanting to do this for a few weeks, but when I get a free period of time, I kind of just want to play video games or chill, not really talk a whole bunch. So you guys finally are getting the show I promised, the episode. We're going to do 31 Halloween movie recommendations. They're just horror movie recommendations. Some of them are good for Halloween. Some of them are good all year, I guess. So I'm excited. We're going to go through these. Probably should have done this at the beginning of the month, but here we go. Let me do a quick sound check. Here we go. That sounded good? Alright. So I made a playlist, and we're going to watch the trailer to the movie. There's a little spoiler for some of you guys. We're going to watch the trailer, and then we're going to watch the movie I would like to talk about. And the really cool thing about this... Ooh, I'm a little bit big here. I think we need to be smaller. Let's fix that. Whoop. That should be good. Yeah, that looks fine. Alright. The order of these movies isn't necessarily the order that they were released in. It was more the order of when in my life I watched them. So we're starting at about age 3 or 4 here when I started having memories. So actually the Night of the Living Dead remake should come before Monster Squad, because I think I saw the Night of the Living Dead remake before that, but that's alright. I think I started with the Monster Squad because I like that picture, and the Monster Squad's like, yeah. Anyways, here we go. Trailer number 1.
Until a shelter is installed,
and there's going to be some trailers on here, and we just have to deal with it.
Squad. What's a squad? It's like Miami Vice, I think.
They're young and inexperienced.
Naughty virgin.
They're a bit disorganized.
Monsters are not real.
We don't know that, sir.
2,000-year-old dead guys do not get up and walk away by themselves.
But when strange things start happening in town...
There's a monster in my closet.
Ooh, look at that big, scary monster!
What's happening? You wait to kill a werewolf.
Silver bullet?
They're the only ones ready to do battle.
Something's out there that's killing people. And if it's monsters, nobody's gonna do a thing about it but us.
Soon the creatures of the night shall rule the world.
Real monsters? Us? Midnight. In the world, remember? Maybe we can be like Mass Squad instead, you know. 2 mass bombs.
We got 1035. Stick back up. Hurry up!
Or Nature Squad. The book is right. Don't you think it's all true?
By midnight...
You guys!
They won't seem so young anymore. The Monster Squad.
Wolfman's gone mad.
Okay, so Monster Squad came out in 1987, and this was Oh my goodness. Monster Squad. What's his name? Is it Fred Decker? I thought I was ready for this. Tom Decker. No. Director. Fred Decker. I had it right. Jeez. Fred Decker, a couple years before, had directed the classic Night of the Creeps, which I actually would say I prefer the movie Night of the Creeps. It's one of my all-time favorite horror movies. The disappointing thing with the Monster Squad and Night of the Creeps' director is he went on to do RoboCop 3, and then he just stopped making movies. He just kind of gave up. I was looking up the trailer voice guy. Don LaFontaine. I know of him. There for a long stretch of time, there was the same voice in all the movie trailers that came out, and he had this really cool, deep voice, and that was almost definitely what was him. So I wanted to point that out. A lot of these movie trailers are going to have Don LaFontaine's voice in them. There is a documentary on him that I think would be fascinating. But so yeah, Monster Squad. I caught it on HBO. This must have been 1990, 1989, when I was a very small kid. The Monster Squad was my introduction to the classic Universal monsters, Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, all that. And because of the Monster Squad, when I got a little bit older, I started looking more into those monsters that I love, you know, the classics. My favorite Universal monster is probably Frankenstein, but The Creature from the Black Lagoon is pretty high up there too. It's a really cool movie. Bride of Frankenstein is probably my favorite Universal horror movie. And like the first, like that was like the start of like horror movie sequels as well. Bride of Frankenstein was a awesome movie. So Fred Decker took all these classic monsters that he watched when he was a kid. I mean, all these special effects artists and horror movie directors in the 80s really idolized like Universal's classics. George Romero liked Frankenstein. George Romero talked about how when he caught a screening of Frankenstein, somebody fainted when they saw the monster. I'm pretty sure I heard George Romero tell a story about that. So these guys went on to make a lot more brutal movies. Fred Decker's movies were pretty gory. Even the Monster Squad has some gore in it, but he did a good job of... He wanted to make his Goonies with the Universal monsters, and I feel like it's kind of my generation's Abbott and Costello meet the Wolfman. No, Abbott and Costello meet the Frankenstein, which is a classic. I have that on. I love that movie. I used to watch that movie with my grandpa. So Monster Squad would be like my Abbott and Costello. It's a great movie. Also, Night of the Creeps is amazing. Tom Atkins is a detective in it, and these kids are fighting. These teenagers are trying to join a fraternity and get girlfriends, and space slugs start going into people's brains and killing them, and then bringing them back as zombies. And there's some of the best one-liners in 80s. It's just like the ultimate 80s like cheese fest. It's so good. Monster Squad's fun too. All right, next trailer. I'm gonna try not to look too much stuff up. I know I have most of this stuff memorized. Tom
They came to pay their respects.
Who does that voice sound familiar to you guys?
Get you, Barbara.
Why do you have to be so cruel?
Bill Moseley.
Show some respect.
Now they're running for their lives.
A biologist in Stockton, California have released reports focusing on the phenomenon, specifically on that trance-like state.
Every shelter is becoming a trap.
Are you sure we're gonna be all right?
Cooper, you gotta help me out!
And every road out
Don't stop no matter what happens.
is just another dead end.
They're coming right for
Get
us.
it? The zombies is a dead end.
George Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
Great movie, a lot of fucking screaming. This was my first zombie movie. This came out I think the first time I saw this, I was at my Grams' house, which was kind of funny because my Grams did not like horror movies, but she would kind of humor me. And I think my uncle Scott might have been watching it, and the very beginning of this movie's Tom Savini took the classic Night of the Living Dead and then went nuts. He went fucking crazy. The thing about this movie that kind of stinks for like a horror buff is it was cut to death. It came out at the wrong time. There was so many things that he did that were insane for the time period, and I remember reading one of his books where he would go into his special effects and stuff, and he talked about this could have been his baby. He worked really hard on this movie, and it was cool. I just watched it recently, and the thing I noticed was, does this movie take place back in the 60s? Because it doesn't look modern, right? No, it takes place in 1989. But I think they did that on purpose, and I really appreciate... I don't know, I think Tom Savini did a really good job with this movie, and Tony Todd is great. Yeah, it's a solid movie. I really enjoy it. I of course love the original Night of the Living Dead, so to mess with that is dangerous. But I feel like Tom Savini didn't get to work on Night of the Living Dead. He was a photographer in Vietnam, so he was overseas, I believe, when Night of the Living Dead came out. But he was back for Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, and he's who got Greg Nicotero going, which is probably like one of the best special effects artists ever. So, I've talked about how sometimes special effects artists will make a movie and it will be not always up to, like, Terrifier is a modern day special effect. Like the guy, what is his name? Don Leone? Is it Leone? I don't know. The dude who's doing the Terrifier movies is a special effects artist. You can tell when you watch the original Terrifier, there's not much story. And the second one, he's making his movie surrounding certain effects he wants to do. And sometimes that doesn't come out very well, and sometimes it comes out very well. So I'm excited to see Terrifier 3 too. But anyways, Night of the Living Dead, classic, first zombie movie. I used to watch this on Saturday mornings when I was about Charlie's age. I was 6 or 7. I had a VHS. My dad had tried buying the original Night of the Living Dead, and they had put the remake in this slipcase for like $2 at a video store. So I have this old... It looks like it's the original Night of the Living Dead, which has a great VHS cover, by the way. But when you pull it out, it's the 1990, 1989 Night of the Living Dead. Okay. Next trailer, please. So we're still... These are movies I saw when I was like 3 and 4, which is probably not the best, but it's okay.
Amazon Fall Favorites are here.
Oh, cool. I didn't know Scream Factory did.
Hey, what are you doing?
It's really quiet.
Things ready for Mom. Mom's dead, Jeff.
She doesn't have to be.
Something strange.
I didn't think much about it until I saw him drag the body out of the coffin.
Something ancient.
Bury your own.
Something evil.
Was it your idea of a joke to send me blood from a dead animal?
This dog is alive.
Not this dog.
Something terrifying is happening in Ludlow, Maine. Again.
Again.
Pick up your family and get the hell out of that town.
Pet Cemetery 2.
Okay. Pet Cemetery 2. I saw... My mom rented this for me when I was 5. Okay. Which is crazy. But she knew... By this point, I was full into horror movies. So my mom was having fun. She rented me Halloween. I watched the original... I watched the remake of The Fly around this time. So I was really... Candyman came out around this time. I didn't put Candyman on this list. I want to talk about Candyman eventually. Candyman is one of the best horror movies ever made. But it scared the fuck out of me when I saw it. This movie freaked me out a little bit too. she didn't let me watch Pet Cemetery when I was this little, but for whatever reason, she's like, let's check out Pet Cemetery 2. And we watched this at my grandpa and grandma's house. And this movie took everything Pet Cemetery did. I wouldn't consider Pet Cemetery to be a very subtle horror movie. It's pretty intense and dark, like extremely dark. This movie's still dark. It's not as serious. It's kind of like the B movie version of Pet Cemetery. Like, they took it and they just kind of went batshit crazy with it. And I think that's why I like this movie. It's very stupid, unnecessary. They did not need to make a Pet Cemetery 2, but they did. The Stephen King stuff is gone at this point. We are full in like zombies fucking talking shit and dogs being crazy and eating rabbit. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe this to me. It is a classic by this point, though.
Jeff, honey. Father and I need to talk.
Some stories just won't stay dead.
Isn't that true? So that's Edward Furlong in this. And I believe we have another Edward Furlong movie coming up. Justin Long and Edward Furlong. Something with that last name. Okay. Another great 1992 horror flick. Another unnecessary sequel. Here we go.
In Hellraiser 1, Clive Barker showed you his vision of a private hell.
What's up, Silent? How you doing, man? I'm recommending 31 horror movies for the holiday season. I'm going through some of the movies I've seen since I was a kid. So we're about age 5 right now.
In Hellraiser 2, he took you on a journey inside the Inferno.
I think I saw the trailer to this.
The terror.
I think I saw the trailer to this on the movie Pet Sematary that we rented from Blockbuster. I could be wrong on that. I feel like I saw the trailer to this, though, when we saw Pet Sematary.
Turns in mankind's final confrontation with evil.
If only this were the final confrontation.
And this time, it's going to be hell on earth.
Great club. I really love it here. It's a great club.
Jesus Christ. Not quite.
Just give me the box. Ready for your close-up?
Hulk Hogan?
We're going to hell, ladies first. Relax, baby. This is better than sex.
It's so good to be back. Clive Barker presents Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth.
Don's back. We got Don for another trailer. There's 3 out of 4 trailers. Okay, so I didn't see Hellraiser 3 until I was a little bit older. I don't think that's something my mom would have let me watch when I was 5. But I remember when we first moved out where I grew up and currently live. I was, I'm from California originally, so where I live now, I was a little weird coming out here. So I spent a lot of time that first summer hiding out and watching movies on the Sci-Fi Channel. And before they called it SIFY, Sci-Fi, before it was Sci-Fi, back in the day, it was just a science fiction channel, and we'd call it Sci-Fi. And that's where I watched Lex, and this is where I saw the Subspecies movies for the first time, which we're getting ready to watch a trailer for. And I saw Hellraiser 3 one night, and we didn't have cell phones at this time period, right? So I was probably in the 4th grade, and I had one or two friends from school, and we would call each other and watch horror movies together, especially on Fridays and Saturdays. Sci-Fi would always have like a horror movie play a couple times on a Friday night or a Saturday night. Children of the Night, all that stuff. So I remember watching Hellraiser 3 with my friend Chris on the phone, and we really enjoyed it. It was a cool movie, and it was my first Hellraiser. I had caught maybe a glimpse of Hellraiser 2 on like USA Up All Night or something, but I never sat through the Hellraiser movie. So Hellraiser 3, which is not a good movie compared to the first two, it's still fun. It's a really fun like B movie, and I always really, especially as a young kid, I really enjoyed it. So I thought I'd throw that up on the list. Speaking of special effects, it's pretty cool, pretty over the top. Pinhead has kind of turned into like a Freddy Krueger type guy by this point. Hellraiser 2 is a little hokey as well, but man, the original Hellraiser is like, that's a scary movie. Good stuff. I went back and I read The Hellbound Heart, where the original Hellraiser came from, and good stuff. Okay, next trailer. Classic Full Moon Entertainment.
Since the dawn of evil, they have prowled the night, feasting on blood and the sins of our flesh. The heart of their power lies in the Bloodstone. Now, a woman who has tasted its nightmares must choose between death and damnation.
You are my forget slave. Embrace me as your master, and all that is mine will be yours.
Vicky, I don't want to be like him.
What is your relationship to Miss Morgan?
She's my sister.
The vampire battle is here in Bucharest, and your sister is his disciple.
Michelle, please. Let me help you. Nothing can help me now.
Bloodstone was stolen from me. You're going to make an exceptional plaything.
Bloodstone, Subspecies 2.
Classic vampire flicks from the 90s. The original Subspecies might have been late 80s. I don't know. The story about how and where those movies got made they're fascinating. Charles Band talked about them in his biography. So if you ever if you know who Charles Band is, or if you are my age and you enjoyed Puppet Master and Subspecies and Castle Freak and all those classic old school movies, I always call those blockbuster movies. Anything by Full Moon, you would see the covers of those in Blockbuster, and that's how he would make his movies. He used home video. It's what got him going pretty hard, which is funny because I think he did Wizard Pictures or Empire. He goes over. Charles Band has done so many companies, but the man is responsible for a lot of horror movies, especially from the 80s and the 90s, that I love. I think Charles Band had a hand in, he definitely had a hand in Ghoulies, Troll, not so much Troll 2, but he, Reanimator, Stuart Gordon got his start with Full Moon, Jeffrey Combs, all those guys. I think his dad was kind of in charge at that point, and then he took over eventually. So it was like Empire Pictures or something like that, and then Wizard, and then it turned into Full Moon, and it's still Full Moon, I think, to this day, but... I threw Subspecies 2 in there because Full Moon's a big deal. I love Puppet Master. Puppet Master 2 is my favorite, and Subspecies 2 and 3. I feel like those are filmed back to back. Those kind of go together really well. And then there's Subspecies 4 and 5. 5 came out last year, but 2 and 3 was like the sweet spot. I'm not a big fan of the original Subspecies either. Ted Nicolau directed Subspecies, and he also did a movie for Charles Band, I believe it was for Full Moon. Terror Vision, which is a fantastic 80s movie. Something I caught on Sci-Fi Channel when I was a kid. Fun stuff. Okay. Now, by this point, I'm 11. I'm a little more... By the time I saw Deep Rising on Stars, on my spliced cable, I was starting to kind of get into more adult movies. By the time I was 11 and 12, I was starting to like watch Pulp Fiction and From Dusk Till Dawn, and like I was starting to want bigger movies. I would not say Deep Rising is a very adult movie though. It's still fun, but it captured me when I was at a young age. I love this movie. This is one of my all-time favorite movies. Let's watch the trailer really quick.
At a depth of 4,000 feet, they roam harmlessly, minuscule
Where's Don?
and unseen by human eyes.
I can't pronounce his name. Where's the guy?
At 20,000 feet,
the narrator guy
they've
from
been
the trailers.
known to eat full-grown sharks. But what if those at 40,000 feet were to rise from the deep?
This is kind of the basis of Cloverfield's monster, isn't it? Same. Just pointing that out. She gets sucked into that toilet in case you're... That's the selling point for you.
Bad feeling about this.
Is that Treat Williams?
Deep Rising.
Great movie. Treat Williams, Stephen Sommers. They're fighting a giant monster on a cruise ship everybody's been eating on it. Treat Williams and I believe it's Stephen Sommers, right? Or Stephen, the dude from fucking Silence of the Lambs is in this too. He's the main bad guy, and the hot chick from The Faculty. Anyways, just a fun monster movie. And usually I'm not a big fan. There's so many horror movies that take place on ships that are so boring. It's not the best environment. I don't feel for movies. It's kind of fucking boring. This one is good. This was up there as far as like haunted boat movies go. Fun movie. Check it out. We actually might watch that on this stream one of these days. The next one's pretty common.
The way Trump is talking about cutting Social Security, it's crazy.
How dare he?
Cutting Social Security is like giving the middle finger to the middle class. Kamala Harris will protect Social Security.
Good.
Not cut it.
Good for him. Okay.
Everybody be cool. You be cool.
Somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
There's Don.
Low profile. You understand the meaning of the words?
I hope it was Don. I already forgot.
Sure. Two of America's most dangerous criminals have taken hostages.
What is this? It's called a punch. I'm going to ask you one question, and all I want is a yes or no answer. Do you want to live through this?
Yes.
Okay, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
One night is all that stands between them and freedom.
This is my kind of place.
But it's going to be
You make me feel funny for
one hell of
since
a
I was
night.
a little boy.
We might be in trouble. We got a bunch of fucking vampires out there trying to get in here and suck our fucking blood.
Now, their only chance is to fight back.
Oh yeah!
Harvey Keitel, George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino, Juliette Lewis.
Welcome to slavery.
No thanks. I already had a wife.
From dusk till dawn.
Directed by Robert Rodriguez written by Quentin Tarantino. This was their, like, they were Harvey Keitel's golden boys by the time this movie came out. I remember 2 times my parents went to the movie theaters to see movies. I think they saw Pulp Fiction more than once. They loved Pulp Fiction. Like, that's one of my mom's all-time favorite movies. It came out at the perfect time for her and my dad at their age. Love Pulp Fiction too. This is like one of the coolest horror movies ever. There's Greg Nicotero up there with the K and B effects group. Yeah, man. And Kurtzman and Nicotero are doing. Is Kurtzman helping with? Pretty sure it's Kurtzman and Nicotero that are behind Walking Dead and shit. But there is a movie called Full Tilt Boogie, or is that what it was called? There's an entire documentary about how this movie got made, and it just looks like so much fun. The only thing I've ever questioned about From Dusk Till, and I love the commentary on the DVD, by the way, that Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino did. Quentin Tarantino is a complete creep in this movie. I don't know, if I wrote a movie, I don't think I'd want to play that character. Necessary for the character, and it is good character development for a story. I wouldn't want to write a movie and be like, I'm gonna be the creepy, psycho, womanizing rapist who needs to be. The movie has some dark things. The thing about From Dusk Till Dawn, and I think if you've seen it and you like it, you get it, but maybe you've never seen From Dusk Till Dawn. From Dusk Till Dawn starts out like your every other like action movie, right? You got 2 brothers who are trying to escape the law. The monsters don't show up until the end of the movie, and when they do, all hell hits. Like they go fucking crazy, but it takes a while. They build it up like perfectly. There's almost 2 movies in From Dusk Till Dawn, and I really think they did a good job. That trailer doesn't do the movie right though, because it showed too much stuff that happens after the fact. That's towards the end of the movie. The rest of the movie is these 2 brothers trying to escape the police. I think they did a really good job. I don't know. That's a solid horror flick. It belongs on this list just because it's it's in my top 10 probably, like, horror films. Like, it's just so much fun to me. It's definitely, if I ever was to make more movies, I'd want to make movies like From Dusk Till Dawn. I have to go pee really quick. So we will be right back with some more movies. Stay tuned, please. Why is it doing that? Weird. Alright. Be right back.
I'm so tired of being alone. I'm so tired of on my own. Won't you help me, girl, just as soon as you can? People say that I found a way to make you say that you love me. Hey, baby, you didn't go for that. It's a natural fact that I wanna come back. Show me where it's at, baby. I'm so tired of being alone. I'm so tired of on my own. Won't you help me, girl, soon as you can? I guess you know that I love you so, even though you don't want me no more. Hey, hey, hey. I'm crying tears all through the years. I tell you like it is, honey, love me if you will. Hey, baby, I'm tired of being alone here by myself now. I tell you, I'm tired, baby. I'm tired of being all wrapped up late at night in my dreams. Nobody but you, baby. Sometime I wonder if you love me like you say you do.
Stinks in my office and I hate it sometimes. I don't understand. It smells bad in here. Okay. Next movie. What am I smelling? Here, I'm playing the next trailer. I'm gonna go investigate.
What would you do if you accidentally discovered the house next door was occupied by something not human? Something horrifying. Something unspeakably evil. No one believes you.
Mom, I didn't have a nightmare.
Not your mom.
They did kill a girl over there.
Not your girlfriend.
Charlie, is this some sort of a trick to get me back?
Not even the police.
Look, I know it's crazy. I know that, but look, Lieutenant!
It knows that you know.
Is that Don?
You'll do anything to protect yourself.
That's Don.
But it will do anything to protect its secret.
Ball drop low, remind Don. Remember when he passed away, everybody was like, that's when I started realizing, like,
Fright Night. If you love being scared, this could be the night of your life.
There he is, dude. Classic Don. Okay, Fright Night obviously came out before some of the other movies we showed. As I mentioned at the top of the show, I'm kind of putting these in the order I saw them. I didn't see Fright Night until I was probably like 9 or 10. Maybe even 11. But I really thought that was a brilliant idea for a movie, especially for its time. Like, Tom Holland, man, some of the best advice he's ever given to other filmmakers is take something absurd and take it serious and make it scary. And Fright Night is a scary movie. It's a classic vampire movie, and it's a lot of fun, and the idea is absurd. A vampire moves in next door, and the boy next door is freaking out, and nobody believes him that there's like a killer vampire living next door. But this vampire is like murdering people. He's seducing his girlfriend, and they're teenagers, so he is a predator, like a scary, like they made him a scary vampire. And this kid needs to like save his girlfriend and kill this vampire. And so Rowdy McDowell's in it, fucking Cornelius from Planet of the Apes he's like a horror host. So it's Vincent's Fright Night. That's why the movie's called Fright Night. And this kid recruits him somehow, and his nerd friend, Evil Ed from fucking, what is it, 976 Evil or whatever. Classic, man. Fright Night's so good. Probably my favorite, I believe it's Tom Holland, who, went on to do Chucky, which they were when they made Chucky, I mean, they were laughing when they made that little redhead doll. But I don't know, it's just fun stuff. I feel like Tom Holland, and who's the other guy? Hold on. I forget names, guys, sometimes. You guys are gonna laugh when I say the name I'm looking up. It's Larry Cohen, right? Why wouldn't they have the director of the name? I don't want cast. It's a live director. It's Larry Cohen. Yeah. Larry Cohen did like the sequel to, he did The Stuff. He did the sequel to Salem's Lot, and those guys are just like fun. They're just fun filmmakers, I feel like. Okay, so now I'm about 11 or 12. We're kind of getting into the stuff I saw later on in life. So here we go.
This is my home, which I am leaving the comforts
like
of
a 12-year-old is all old.
To explore the Blair
Witch. This is another From Dusk Till Dawn trailer. You guys know what the fucking Blair Witch Project is.
I can see you.
I'm real excited about this. Thank you for the opportunity.
I'm very glad.
This area's been haunted by that old woman for years.
I don't know why you have to have every conversation on video.
Because we're making a documentary.
Not about us getting lost. We're making a documentary about a witch.
I know.
Lost? Admit that first.
No, I know we're not lost.
You're all over the place.
So how do we know it was people?
Well, even if it wasn't, I'm not going to play with that either.
And it's not because of me that we're here now. Hungry and cold and hunted. Just want to apologize to Mike's mom and Josh's mom and my mom.
Tell me where you are, Josh!
Okay, Blair Witch Project, one of the... Found footage is something that has been done to death. But every couple of years, I've watched a found footage movie and I'm like, that was cool. So it's not a genre that should be underestimated, in my opinion. I think there's been some amazing found footage movies. The Blair Witch was one of the most successful independent films of its time. And whether you like it or not, some people watch it and they go, "This is the stupidest movie ever." By this point, we know it's not real. If you were alive in 1999 and you watched this, there was a lot of people who thought this movie was a real documentary, and that is kind of, I think, what helped its success. It was scary if you watched this with the idea that it was real, and you can't trick yourself into something like that. So I love the Blair Witch Project. I've been told that I shouldn't love the Blair Witch Project because I like Evil Dead and I like gore and I like I have pretty good taste in horror movies, but I know there's people who love this movie. It belongs on here because it did have it was inspirational to me at this time because I was starting to get into the idea of maybe I can make movies, when I grow up. I was still a kid when I saw this. I was in 6th grade when this came out. My mom rented this for me from Blockbuster, and she was like, "This shit is real," and she let me watch it in my room by myself. And I'm going to tell you right now, the reason I feel like this is an effective horror movie is there hasn't been a time when I've been out in the woods, camping in a tent or whatever, or hiking, where this movie might not come into my head, especially at nighttime. Like, what if there's something out there in the trees? My only complaint with this and just about every single successful found footage movie I've seen since is I never feel like there's ever, a real payoff to these movies. There's never... I want a night, Tales from the Crypt ending to one of these movies. I want them to go fucking crazy, even if it's just the last couple minutes, but actually go crazy. Give me something. And the Blair Witch has a pretty solid ending. It's spooky. That's a scary movie. So, anyways, a lot of people credit this as being the first found footage movie. That's not necessarily true. I think people had been incorporating, real footage into their movies well before this. Cannibal Holocaust kind of has a found footage feel to it. But this was the first big found footage movie. So I will give it that. A lot of people prefer The Last Broadcast over the Blair Witch Project. I do not like The Last Broadcast very much. What's The House? The House is October built. I just saw recently. Overrated. LLC Hell House is pretty good. Or Hell House LLC, whatever. I like that one. And then Paranormal Activity is great. The original Paranormal Activity. That was somebody trying to do Blair Witch Project again, and they did their own thing, and it was cool. And that had a whole successful line of movies. But yeah, man, you gotta give credit. And Eduardo Sanchez, there's two guys that made this, but Eduardo Sanchez went on to do a couple other great movies, like Altered, which is a fun alien movie, and The Seventh Moon. I actually, one Christmas, years ago, I got a tablet, and I played Trivia Crack with Eduardo Sanchez, and I beat him. I beat him on a round of Trivia Crack. So the guy who did this, I played Trivia Crack with years ago, and I won. Here we go.
They vowed to stay together forever, that their love would never die. But their pledge remained untested.
Oh, cool. No problem. I'm the boss's son, remember?
Until they went looking for a thrill. And stumbled on the chilling fact.
Let's proceed.
That even the dead can go on living.
We came back to life. We gotta get out of here.
And tonight, fate will put their promises to the test. Now that she's dead, he's frightened to live without her. But bringing her back is terrifying.
Oh, God, Kurt, that was incredible. Let's do it again.
Contain it, damn it! Seal it off now!
Is that what I'm gonna become?
These poor dead bastards crave brains.
She bit me. She gave you something bad.
I feel so hungry.
I'm gonna find you down here.
What have you done?
If she attacks him, he becomes like her.
I just get a little confused sometimes.
Love never dies.
Alright, guys. Mindy Clark. I don't think she was ever in a horror movie again, but this Brian Usna. Return of the Living Dead is the original Return of the Living Dead is like one of the best movies ever. It's up there with like Evil Dead 2 for me, right? I would have put Return of the Living Dead on here because it was a huge deal when I've watched that movie probably more than any other movie in my life. I love Return of the Living Dead so much. I have the whole movie memorized in my brain. Dan O'Bannon directed that. Rest in peace. The zombies in it were fascinating. It's just such a fun movie. It's so dark and silly. And anyways, Return of the Living Dead 2 is great, and it was another one I enjoyed when I was a kid. And that was there's a little boy like dealing with the situation from Return of the Living Dead 1. It happens in this town, and it's like a kid's interaction with these like brain-eating zombies, which are terrifying. And they run, and they're quick, and they can talk, and they're luring cops out and everything. The reason I chose to I wanted to talk about Return of the Living Dead 3 primarily on this list is because Brian Usna directed this one. And Brian Usna is one of the coolest horror movie directors ever. And I feel like he's very underrated. Brian Usna was, he worked on the original Reanimator, and he had gone on to direct, by this point he had done Bride of Reanimator, which is a crazy fucking movie too. I think he did this after he did Bride of Reanimator. And then he would go on later on in around 2003, 2004 to do Beyond Reanimator, which Reanimator is great, right? It's a very fun zombie movies. It's H.P. Lovecraft and Stuart Gordon, and so. But Brian Usna is a little different from Stuart Gordon. They're both, I feel like they're very dark filmmakers, but I feel like Brian Usna is a little more colorful and a little more silly and fun. And this is up there. Like he took Return of the Living Dead and he did his own thing, and I think he made a pretty cool like zombie romance story. It's fun, and I saw this about 12 or 13 for the first time. I rented it from Blockbuster, and I was blown away by this movie. I was really impressed and happy, which in hindsight is kind of disappointing because it was like I loved the original Return of the Living Dead. I think Return of the Living Dead 2 was the first one I saw, and I saw it when I was a young kid. So when I was a teenager and I saw this, right before I left for the military, Return of the Living Dead 4 and 5 came out. Those are not good. Those are very disappointing. I waited 3 or 4 years for those movies to get finished and released. And they premiered on Sci-Fi Channel. I was like, oh man. And Beyond Reanimator, I think, was originally premiered on Sci-Fi Channel for its premiere. And I thought that was so good. I was like, I can't believe Sci-Fi Channel like put this out. And so I was like, this is going to happen again. You know, I was so excited. Biggest letdown ever. But we have our first 3 Return of the Living Deads, and they're fun because each one's very different. Which is cool because if you watch George Romero's zombie movies, Russo produced Return of the Living Dead, and he had worked on the original Night of the Living Dead. The original 3, Romero zombie movies are pretty different, but it's the same guy working on those, right? Each one of these movies is drastically different, and this is definitely a Brian Usna movie before it's anything to do with Return of the Living Dead. It has all the makings of a Brian Usna movie. So if you don't know who Brian Usna is, look up all of his Reanimator movies he did. He did a really fucked up, weird movie about vampires living underwater. It was Dark Waters or something. I didn't really like that one that much, but it still is Brian Usna. He did Faust, Love for the Damned. Just the dude's crazy. He's a great director, so I had to throw Return of the Living Dead 3 in here. This is probably one of my favorite movies. So, and the chicken, it's hot. Another favorite horror movie of mine when I was a teenager. I would say this is a guilty pleasure, but I don't really care what other people think, so I just like this movie. I know people make fun of me for liking this movie. I threw it on here. This might be something we watch on the stream one day as well. Here we go. Edward Furlong is in this.
Now that I have your attention, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Trickster.
What was that film you were watching?
Death, death, death.
Death, death, death.
Part 2.
Oh, Lord.
Michael's seen it,
Go for it, man.
done it, played it,
Look, I've played them all.
and just when he thought he'd die of boredom,
Brain scan. The ultimate experience in interactive terror.
Never leave home without it.
You're in the game, man. You're in control.
You must think like a killer. Cover up any clues. Leave no witnesses, no evidence.
a challenge he can't resist.
It was so real. It was sick. See, I told you, man. I told you it would blow your mind.
A game he can't escape.
There was a grisly murder in the quiet suburban town of Mountview today.
So you did it.
What was on that disc?
It's not a game anymore.
Hamilton and Hayden.
It's real.
It wasn't supposed to be real.
Real, unreal, what's the difference?
I didn't kill the man. I didn't even know him.
You're in this now. You won't survive on your own. You started this and now you're afraid to finish it just like you're afraid of everything else.
I won't kill her. Shoot her.
Play it. The witness has to die.
Edward Furlong, Frank Langella, and introducing T. Ryder Smith as the trickster. Brain scan.
I can't wait to see what you do next.
So the girl in this movie, Amy Hargreaves, ended up acting in another horror movie years later, 2009 I think, called Offspring, which was a book that Jack Ketchum wrote, and Ty West ended up doing The Woman, right? I think that was Ty West. He ended up taking the woman from Offspring and making her a character in his movie The Woman, which I'm not a big fan of, but anyways, Amy Hargreaves was a babe when I was a little kid. So this movie's great. A boy is dealing with some things. He's having a hard time. His mom had passed away, and his dad is always gone for work. So he gets this game from Fangoria, and he gets this weird demon, like Jiminy Cricket type murderer thing, tricking him into doing things that are bad, through the game. And it's just, I don't know, it's nothing crazy. And the director of this movie, John Flynn, I think he usually would do like cop movies and stuff. So it was the only horror movie he ever made. But I thought it was a fun movie. I saw it on this was something I caught on Sparks or Encore or whatever late at night, and I put it on a VHS. And I always loved this movie. So I remember when I first got it on DVD, it was probably like 2007, 2006. It came out on DVD. I got it on base. I was so excited. I was like, I got that and the remake of The Blob, which is another great movie. I got a couple DVDs at that BX that I don't think I would have seen anywhere else. So I still have my copy. I actually have the soundtrack to this movie. I don't own a lot of movie soundtracks on CD, but I have a handful of them, and Brain Scan is one of them. So good stuff. Okay, now I'm getting a little bit older. By the time I saw Cabin Fever, I was probably 15, 16. Maybe 14.
You know when you've known someone a long time and you just want to kiss them just to see if they're a good kisser or not?
There's nothing wrong with that, right? Stay.
Nauseous.
Well, it's not funny. Can you help me?
No.
She's not coming near me.
What's
your problem?
You guys gonna kill each other now?
You don't look so hot. Help me. I need a doctor.
I don't want to get sick. I don't want any of us getting sick.
We just don't want to get it.
I say we get out of here right now.
He's coming towards us.
All right, back off.
He looked like he was skinned alive.
Party man.
Is it safe?
Don't worry about me.
Leave us alone! Somebody help! I'm burning!
So Eli Roth's first movie, this did not come out in 2013. It came out in 2001, I think. Eli Roth's very first feature-length movie. He would go on to do Hostel, Hostel 2, and all that bullshit. Cabin Fever is a great movie. It's so much fun. And, yeah, I don't have a lot to say. I think people know what Cabin Fever is. Speaking of Ty West, it's funny because I just watched Maxine, but, speaking of Ty West, ooh, Charlie's getting in trouble. Speaking of Ty West, he I think it was Ty West was supposed to do the Cabin Fever 2, but it kind of got cut in half and fucked up. And then Cabin Fever 3 was absolutely disgusting. And I don't say that lightly. I like gore, but that movie made me nauseous. Anyways, fun movie. Eli Roth's first movie. He had gotten his start with Trauma, so he went on from Trauma to do his own thing. And just recently he did Thanksgiving, which was great. So, fun movie. Good movie for a teenage me. Another movie I saw for the first time when I was a teenager. They played this on Joe Bob Briggs last year. It's pretty fun. What a boring trailer. So, Zombie was titled Zombie Zombi 2 over in Italy because it was actually a sequel. Is Lucio Fulci's what word am I trying to say? Unofficial sequel to what was Zombie in Italy, which was Dawn of the Dead. It was the imported Dawn of the Dead. So when it came over to the States or wherever, Dawn of the Dead was just Dawn of the Dead, they called it Zombie. And yeah, this movie is pretty rough, man. It was my introduction to Italian horror. We watched Burial Ground on this show a little bit ago with David. I would say Zombie is a much better film. Probably one of my favorite Italian horror films. It's up there with like Black Sunday and stuff like that. But it's pretty fun. My favorite Fulci film. Yeah. I saw this when I was probably about 16. I rented this with Scarface. So I had a pretty fun weekend for that year. Yeah, I was 16. It's the first time I saw Zombie. I dubbed this onto a VHS from the DVD I rented. I'd have my PS2 hooked up to the VCR, and then I would put, I'd make my little dubbings when I rented stuff. So, and I had this on the same tape. I think I had Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Zombie all on one tape. Which is funny because I might have had all three, man. I think I got all... No, I might have had all four. I had Day of the Dead and then Zombie. Maybe. I'm not sure how... I guess you could fit... You could use about 6 hours, so... And Dawn of the Dead's too long. I must have had 2 tapes, or I'm not sure what I did. Or I had Zombie on a different tape. I don't know. I loved taking this movie to my friends' houses and watching them when we had sleepovers and stuff. Okay, so the next movie, Sleepaway Camp, I saw for the first time.
Jackie Rosen has failed Nevada time and time again.
She voted with Biden and Kamala.
Shout Factory TV, changing the channel.
I'm gonna let... Should be screams back.
Dear Mom and Dad,
This is a great trailer.
I've been at sleepaway camp for almost 3 weeks. And I'm getting very scared.
Welcome to Sleepaway Camp. Someone is watching you.
Hey, Mama, Reba!
Someone is waiting for you. Someone wants to scare you to death.
Turn the wheel! Oh my God!
Sleepaway Camp. You won't be coming home.
Okay, Sleepaway Camp is a classic, and if you're in the know, you're in the know, and if you're not, go get in the know because this movie's fucked up. This is kind of funny. I didn't know a lot about Sleepaway Camp. I bought there was a 4-pack, or no, it was the first 3 movies and like a first aid kit like that you'd have on a camping trip. And so I'd never seen Sleepaway Camp, and I popped it in, I watched it, and it's a very mediocre slasher movie from the 80s. Pretty much all the way through to the very, very end. And when the very end happened, I was not expecting what I saw, and it caught me off guard, and it spooked me a little bit. I slept with the lights on that night. It scared me. Which I don't know what that says. I wasn't expecting what I got at the end of this movie, and it's definitely a fun movie to watch with a room full of people. I had, as an adult, had a little party, and there was probably like 8 or 9 people that came over. We were in our early 20s, and we stayed up late and we watched the Sleepaway Camp movies. The sequels are a lot of fun too. Bruce Springsteen's sister plays the killer in the sequels. But anyways, Sleepaway Camp. It's a fun movie. So yeah, I saw this when I was 19. Another movie I rented or saw. I think I got this from Netflix originally. The Burning. This is another underrated classic. It came out at the same time as Friday the 13th.
If you're looking forward to midnight swims, don't.
Sneak on back to the campsite. Get some matches. Build us a hot fire. Don't be long.
And if you're thinking about being with someone where no one can see you, don't. Because this summer, a legend of terror isn't just a campfire story anymore.
They say
Is that Dawn? That might be Dawn.
Just a mass of flames. Cried out. I will return. I will have my revenge. He lives on whatever he can catch. Right now, he's out there, watching, waiting.
Who's there?
LaFontaine.
One summer 5 years ago is about to happen again, and again, and again. The Burning.
He recorded more than 5,000 film trailers. Okay, so The Burning came out around the same time as the original Friday the 13th. I feel like The Burning is, and I love Jason's my favorite slasher series of all time. Like, it's so good to me. The Burning is a much better film than the original Friday the 13th, and I'm okay with saying that and admitting that to myself. In fact, I would say, as much as I love Friday the 13th, I feel like Friday the 13th 2 is much better than the original as well, and scarier. Like, Baghead Jason's so spooky to me. I feel like The Burning's up there with Friday the 13th Part 2. Like, those are pretty solid. And it was cool because I wasn't too aware of the burning until I got older. So I went on this, especially when you could rent DVDs from Netflix. I went on this spree when I was in the military because I was working, and then I lived in a dorm, and all my friends lived 8 or 9 hours away from me. So I made friends in the military, but a lot of my time in the military, and I worked in a warehouse, so I spent some time, even at work watching movies. So I was constantly renting these horror movies, and kind of that was like my film school for me, was when I went into the Air Force. Because I had time to watch movies, and it was a good time period because, I could just get movies. I'd get them in the mail, and I'd watch stuff like The Burning, or this is how I saw Tombs of the Blind Dead for the first time. I rented it on Netflix. Rented it off of Netflix. The atmosphere in Tombs of the Blind Dead is so good. It's a spooky-ass movie.
Blind terror strikes fear into the hearts of innocent people. The morgue receives the victims of the blind dead.
Is that David Carradine?
There's no escape from the blind dead. They are the Templars, devil worshippers. A death cult that has risen from their 1,000-year-old tombs to begin a horrible reign of terror.
Please wait! Look over there!
A beautiful young girl is trapped by the evil forces. No one is safe from their curse.
They're coming!
You wanna know the funny thing about that guy screaming? They literally can't find you unless you make noise. Anyways.
A human sound in the ancient cemetery brings the evil creatures from their tombs. The Templars perform their sadistic rites. A virgin is sacrificed in a blood ritual.
We get it.
A fiery death for those who can't escape the blind dead. Coming soon from your cemetery.
What?
We work hard,
Coming soon
pay
from your
taxes,
cemetery?
but independent voters like me, we're shut out from Nevada's closed primary.
Tombs of the Blind Dead's
Vote
great.
yes on question 3
Believe it's
to
Spanish.
open our
It's
primary.
fun.
Because
We're just
if
gonna
we
keep
pay
this rolling
taxes
here,
for
'cause
elections,
I've been doing
we
this for a
should
minute.
get to vote in them.
Stuart Gordon was mentioned earlier, as well as Full Moon, but I had to have a Stuart Gordon movie on here. I was gonna go Reanimator.
Stuart Gordon, the director of Fortress, The Pit and the Pendulum, and Reanimator, takes you into the dungeons of Castle Dorsino. Now an American family
Welcome to Castle Riley, lady.
will inherit a legacy of evil.
They say the castle is haunted.
And a master of modern horror will unleash his most terrifying creation. Stuart Gordon's Castle Freak.
There's somebody else here! There's somebody in the castle!
seen him. He was never buried. She kept him alive. He's here somewhere in the castle. There was a madman in there, but my family is in danger.
Reanimators Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton in Stuart Gordon's Castle Freak.
Classic 90s garbage smut. The thing I chose Castle Freak. I wanted to do one of the three. I call them the Stuart Gordon's, Jeffrey Combs, and Barbara Crampton movies because there's three of them, right? There might have been more. I don't know. The three main ones would be Reanimator, From Beyond. Jeez, that skipped my brain. From Beyond is intense. It was between Castle Freak and From Beyond. I chose Castle Freak because a lot of people already talk about From Beyond and Reanimator. Those are pretty great like horror movies from the 80s. Castle Freak came out about a decade after those, and I don't know, man. Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton just go well together. This movie's very dark. I feel like it's a little underrated. I showed it to my wife 2 or 3 years ago, and it made her a little squeamish. Like, there's some stuff in this movie that's like, whoa, you know? I really think it's interesting how their daughter's blind, and her interactions with the monster. She can't see him, so it's a fun ass movie. Yeah, classic fun Halloween movie. Okay, guys, now by the time I saw Castle Freak, I was probably in my 20s. So no, maybe I was like, yeah, I might have been hitting 20. I was 19 when Stay Alive came out, and I bought Stay Alive on DVD when it came out, and I don't know if I think I lent my friend Tessa Stay Alive, and she stole it from me. I never got my DVD back, or it's out in the garage somewhere.
Oh my God!
But
I need you to open that door right now.
Stay Alive is a fucking fun movie. I got a new copy of it, and I watched it recently, and I like it so much more now that time has passed. It goes along with Brain Scan or other, you know, killer video game movies. It's just fun. As somebody who plays a lot of horror games, I enjoy this.
Stay Alive? Never heard of it.
Yeah, this could be nice.
Sweet Sebastian.
For
Rock,
100 million game.
No, you signed in yet? I'm here. All right, let's boot it up.
We got Malcolm in the middle.
This game is Stay Alive. We don't know much else other than
Wearing a stupid poker hat. Whoa.
You guys feel that? Hell yeah.
Oh, what's that?
Damn it, man, she got me. Some woman, man. Hey, somebody out there? No, who you talking to, man? You play the game too long. You know, you start seeing stuff. Hello? Noah died the same way he died in the game. This can't just be a coincidence.
I think you're right.
You serious, man? Listen to yourself.
You
die in the game.
If I've made movie trailers before. I never want that in any of my movie trailers.
Anybody out there?
They did it on a fucking game controller.
The game is a reality.
I think you guys get it. Fun ass movie from the early 2000s about a killer video game. It's been done. It's fun though. And I've noticed that people are talking about this movie again after almost 20 years. So that makes me happy to see. Fun stuff. Okay. Moving on. I don't know. Hold on. We gotta talk about this a little bit. I don't know who directed this movie. Okay, here, you guys watch the trailer and I'll shut up. Ah!
Welcome to your murder.
That guy. That guy that was just there. Well, let's see. Hold on. Macon Blair. That's Macon Blair. I hope I'm saying it. Macon Blair. He directed the remake of The Toxic Avenger, which still isn't out yet for some fucking stupid reason. He's made 3 movies since he finished The Toxic Avenger. He worked on those are his acting. Let's see, director. He's only directed 3 movies. What the fuck? I clicked director for a reason, okay? Director. So he directed a movie or a TV series called Room 104, and I Don't Feel at Home in This World. Anyways, The Toxic Avenger is supposed to be like his big movie, and it's like, why have we not seen this yet? But he's probably my favorite actor in this underrated movie, Murder Party. Came out in 2009, I believe, maybe 2008.
This is the party. We've been planning this for weeks.
The invitation said murder party. If
I
some
bought
jackass
this.
is dumb enough to come here, then he deserves.
I bought this
to
from a
die.
movie gallery that was going out of business.
Look, I don't think we actually thought someone would be stupid enough to show up.
So white male is perfect.
Think beyond splattering blood on canvas. When our masterpiece is complete, and the coroner's report is back in, it will read the cause of death. Art. Happy Halloween.
Everybody dies.
I didn't sign on for second degree assault party.
And this is 2008, right? I don't know.
We fight
It was
for
around
a
then.
future where we lower the cost of living for America's families.
Bringing down grocery prices, capping unfair rent increases,
2007,
making sure billionaires
baby.
pay their
I
fair
didn't see
share
this
in
until
taxes.
2009.
What we need
You're
is what
interrupting.
Kamala Harris is fighting for.
Come on, Lucas. Go on, outside.
Yeah, you're finished with your legal.
No, you're not. Come on, Charlie. Stop recording.
Yes, he's done with his legal stuff.
Don't stare at us. We will stay in here. Keep staring at us. Charlie, right here. Come here, Charlie. Thanks, Charlie, for backing me up.
Everybody, I'm gonna have to take a quick break, and I'm gonna have to go fight my family. Apparently, I don't understand where I went wrong with these people. Unbelievable. This movie took forever to come out on DVD for some stupid reason. Michael Dougherty's Trick or Treat.
All ghosts and goblins should follow. Always stay on sidewalks.
This came out on DVD, October 2009. I saw it for the first time, and I was so excited. I just gotten out of the Air Force, and I was coming home, and I was staying at my friend Bloodworth's house, hanging out for a couple extra weeks just to say goodbye to everybody. And there was one afternoon, Bloodworth went to work, and I sat on the blow-up mattress in his guest room and watched Trick or Treat.
Never go to a stranger's house, and never go out alone.
If I feel like this movie with the trailer's not very good, by the way. Sorry, the movie's great. I feel like this movie really captures the spirit of Halloween. It's like up there with Hocus Pocus for me, as far as like Halloween movies go. There's not a lot of movies that I'm like, what's a good Halloween movie?
All sorts of
Trick or
things.
Treat's a good Halloween movie, and it's fun.
Roam free.
My dad doesn't even really like scary movies, and he likes this movie.
Sorry. All these traditions. Wait.
What?
You're supposed to keep it lit.
Why?
Ancient tradition? Putting on costumes.
I look like I'm 5. You look great. What did we do now?
It's also an anthology movie that interconnects with you. Like the stories all are interwoven. It's so good.
Our days.
Jack-o'-lanterns.
Why are we here? To pay our respects to the dead?
The Halloween school bus massacre.
They started to protect us, but
Morning, guys. How are you doing down there?
hiding buddies. Nowadays, no one really cares.
This one's still lit.
What is that?
It's them.
Oh my god.
Look at me. It's not a trick. It's real.
Tonight is about respecting the customs, not breaking them.
Same director would go on to do Krampus, which was also a fun horror Christmas movie. Great movie. Okay. Now the dudes who did Daybreakers also did a movie a few years earlier called Undead. I believe they're from New Zealand. I was so excited about this movie I went to the movie theaters to watch this movie. Amel and Shiloh.
I like being a vampire, son.
I'm good at this. I was never very good at being human.
Immortality is the miracle. We are blessed.
What happens when there isn't a single drop left?
These are desperate times.
We only have enough blood to sustain our population till the end of the month.
We're talking about the extinction of the human race. If a blood substitute is not found immediately, this will happen to all of us. A substitute would replace our need for a human supply.
There will always be those who are willing to pay extra for the real thing.
We need your help.
We want to rebuild the human race.
A blood substitute is not a cure.
I was like you once, and not no more. Who are you? We're the folks with the crossbows. That last breath of humanity will vanish as soon as the blood does. I found a cure. I can change you back.
What's the cure?
They could kill you.
I'm already dead.
Doesn't hurt me.
Can anyone hear me?
Wanna feel how it feels.
They found us. They're everywhere.
You wanna know that it doesn't hurt me. No! If I only could make a deal with God, get him to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that
Fun ass movie, dude. So good. Undead is a little bit sillier, but this they went pretty serious with this one, but it's still like a solid vampire flick. I dug it. They did their own thing. So while this one's serious, the next movie trailer we're gonna watch is not so serious. Might be one of the craziest fucking things I've ever seen. Drew Balduck's The Taint.
I hate women!
I hate women.
Nobody blocks my cock!
Wait.
So, we talked about finding a way to play the taint on the stream. There's so many penises. There's so many ejaculating penises in this movie, and that's a crazy thing to. The reason I don't want to play the taint on my stream is there's too many ejaculating penises in it. It's a really funny sentence. I never thought in my life I would have to make that be the excuse for why I'm not doing something, but it's too many ejaculating penises in it. They did get a shot of a penis going into a vagina in that movie. Pretty artsy stuff. The Taint. Troma released it, of all companies, after a while. The copy I have was not distributed by Troma, so I have like the original like DVD of it. I asked Drew to sign it, and he didn't fucking sign it. Stupid dick. That wasn't very nice. Sorry, Drew.
Working families are getting crushed by high inflation, and Jackie Rosen helped create this mess.
Alright, this is fun, but in a different way. Much like Daybreakers, it's a very serious paced movie. Atmospheric. But still very fun and crazy. The Ford Brothers, The Dead.
This is Flight Engineer, Lieutenant Brian Murphy. Sole survivor of military evacuation flight, Lima, November 260.
Our orders are to be at the roadblocks, to stop the spread by shooting the infected. But I left to find my son. Are you bitten?
No, I'm okay.
You're American.
I'm an engineer, mechanic. I fix things. I'm just trying to survive.
Get out! Get out! It's not possible to survive on foot. The dead are everywhere.
The war between us is no more. There's a new war. We have to fight it together.
Fantastic zombie movie. And if you guys notice, there's only been a couple zombie movies on here. It's one of my favorite horror genres is zombie movies. I want to do another list similar to this. Probably not 31 movies necessarily, but I want to do another list for Thanksgiving. I thought, because we're all feasting, zombies like to feast on us. I want to do another list of zombie movies, and we will talk a bit more about The Dead, as well as its sequel, which wasn't as good. But I'm going to make a pretty extensive list of zombie movies that I would like to talk about on the stream. So that'll probably be our Thanksgiving special this year's. Just a bajillion zombie movies. The Dead belongs very high up on that list. It's one of my favorite movies. So I'm going to go get a drink of water really quick, and then we're on movie 23. So we're almost done. It was long. Hopefully you guys, maybe I threw a movie at one of you that you've never seen before, or maybe you're just reminiscing with me. Either way, having a lot of fun. One of my favorite times of the year is Halloween time. It's kind of always Halloween with me, though, but I do like Halloween. So I will be right back with some more recommendations. I keep doing that. Hello. Alright, let's wrap this up. Cabin in the Woods. One of Chris Hemsworth's first movies.
Doesn't even show up on the GPS. It's unworthy of global positioning.
That's the whole point. Get off the grid, right?
Hello? I'm thinking this thing doesn't take credit cards.
Sign says closed.
We're looking for, what's it called?
Tillerman Road.
This movie reminds me of Carlton Mellick's Mellick III's book Ape Shit, which came out a couple years before this movie. I think Ape Shit came out in 2009. Awesome. There's a lot of similarities.
Whoa. No way.
Kids go into a creepy cabin. You have the setup for the classic horror movie, kind of like Cabin Fever did. Only they really like go nuts with this.
The lambs have passed through the gate. They are come to the killing floor.
Let's get this party started! I seriously believe something weird is going on.
Currently on HBO Max, I believe. So check it out. Cabin in the Woods, fun Halloween flick. In fact, I'm gonna stop it here. I'm not even gonna show you guys what's going on here. Kids go into this cabin, shit starts happening, there's something far more sinister going on. Very fun horror flick. The commentary on this DVD is great too. Fun stuff. I don't want anything to get spoiled, but I do want Cabin in the Woods to be on one of my recommendations for Halloween this year. Alright guys, we've mentioned Evil Dead a couple times. Top 10 movies, man. One of the best remakes ever.
Please. You have to get me out of here.
Leave this book alone.
Fed Alvarez, director of the newest Alien Romulus. Where you guys start.
It's in here with us now.
something from that book. Something evil. This thing is attached to Mia's soul. We're gonna have to kill her.
You are all going to die tonight.
Okay. I know a lot of people who were very against this movie coming out, and I at first I was kind of like, I don't know if you should be messing with Evil Dead because it's kind of very beloved. Like, people who like B movies love Evil Dead. But I remember Bruce Campbell came out and he's like, we did not fuck you guys on this movie. Like, we did not screw you guys over with this remake. It is great. My favorite thing about this movie is it could potentially work as a sequel to the other 3 Evil Deads if you really wanted it to. I am okay with whatever realm it's just kind of a different movie, right? So, but they took the original Evil Dead and made their own thing. And it's funny to me because each Evil Dead movie of the 3 original movies, the second one is a remake of the first movie. Like, the stuff that happens in the first movie is kind of erased at the beginning of Evil Dead 2. They remake the movie in the first 15 minutes of Evil Dead 2. And then Army of Darkness got a different lead and kind of did their own thing at the beginning of that. So each movie kind of remade itself. So I'm not as... I don't know. I think if something like Evil Dead is that sacred to you, then just watch Evil Dead. But I got both of them, and I like both of them. So, and I like them both for different reasons. The original Evil Dead's a fantastic movie. So I wanted to put this on here because I didn't choose a lot of remakes this year for my list, and there are so many great remakes out there. I don't think there's anything wrong with taking something that people like and fucking with it and making it your own thing. I'm all for that, especially after seeing the Evil Dead remake because it's a fun movie. Evil Dead Rise was great too. All right, let's get into something very original but fucking weird. Our boy Justin Long. I mentioned Justin Long at the beginning when I said Edward Furlong's in 2 of these, and we got 2 Justin Long movies on this list too.
Always do sober what you do drunk. That'll teach you to keep your mouth shut.
Peter
Hemingway said that.
Yes, he did. And he said it to me.
I don't want you to go to Canada tomorrow.
It's for the podcast.
Johnny
It's
Depp's
what
in
I
this.
do. I travel around and I interview weird or interesting people.
So look out, you crazy Canucks!
Yeah.
Wandering Wallace
Makes
takes
sense.
a raunchy road trip up to the Great White North.
Hello. I'm an old man who has enjoyed a long and storied life at sea. And after eons of oceanic adventure, I know I do not wish to spend my remaining years alone while I have such stories to share.
How far is Bifrost from here?
It's about 2 hours from here.
It's about 2 hours away.
I hate American guys.
What the fuck am I trying to say right now?
It's nice to meet you.
Could I interest you in some tea?
So what happened after the boat sank?
I was alone, and then something very swift and frightening moved by me.
A walrus saved your life?
The walrus is far more evolved than any man I've heard of. Present company included.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Which?
Michael Parks.
There.
I probably called Peter Park because of
He hasn't called me in 3 days.
Spider-Man.
I'm worried.
Why are you doing this? Are you really mourning your humanity? I don't understand. Who in the hell would want to be human?
Kevin Smith's best movies ever. Kevin Smith came up with him and his audience on his podcast came up with this fucking stupid idea, and they were laughing so hard at it that they went, "This would make a good horror movie," and so he made it and followed through with it. And I followed the making of this, and I remember the first time I saw it, I was blown away with how nuts it is. It is a very fun movie. It was actually Kevin Smith's second horror movie. He had done Red State a few years before, and I was impressed with Red State as well, which also Michael Parks was in. Great movies. So if you like Clerks and you like Chasing Amy and all that bullshit, he did do two really good horror movies before he went on to do whatever with his daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter. It was Yoga Hosers. And then he was supposed to do Moose Jaws, which I feel like Moose Jaws could have been cool, but Yoga Hosers was really bad. His up north horror movie thing he got over it. He lost interest. I think Kevin Smith is a great horror movie director, though. I love Red State and I loved Tusk. So if you've never seen Tusk, it's one of those movies like Sleepaway Camp that's a lot of fun to watch with somebody else because it's so fucking weird and crazy. Robert Eggers, The Witch, also did The Lighthouse, which I'm not a big fan of, and the new Nosferatu coming out in December. Kind of had to throw on. Yeah, if we're gonna do a horror movie list in 2024, we gotta mention Robert Eggers.
This wilderness to find, leaving our country, kindred, our fathers' houses. For what? For the kingdom of God. Let us pray.
This is a solid horror movie, by the way. This is a scary movie. It doesn't make your stomach feel very good when you watch this.
You've cursed this family.
Who's there?
Oh God, my Lord, I now begin. Oh, help me and I'll leave my sin. For I repentant thou shalt be. From evil I will turn to thee. None ever shall destroy my faith. For I repentant thou shalt be. Oh God, my Lord, I now begin. Oh, help me and I'll leave my sin. For I repentant thou shalt be. From evil I will turn to thee.
Let us leave the word.
Another disturbing A24 director would be Ari Aster, who made Hereditary and Midsommar. I didn't want to put Hereditary on here because I really don't like that movie. That movie's fucked up. The reason these movies are solid horror movies isn't so much that they're necessarily scary. They are scary, but they're disturbing. It's like you fucking, like one of the quotes on here was, "I feel like I'm watching something I shouldn't be seeing," and that's kind of like. So I decided to go with Robert Eggers, and I decided to go with The Witch because that was. I can watch this movie and somewhat like appreciate it. I don't know, man. These are hard movies. These are not necessarily fun horror movies. In fact, the next one's not fun either. It's pretty dark. But you know, if you are looking for something disturbing or scary, I had to throw The Witch on here. Pretty good stuff. This next movie, The Third Day.
I'd like to show you something this Halloween season on Disney Plus.
Trick or treat!
Here, watch the trailer and we'll talk.
So this is Martin.
I want to know where he is and what happened to him.
Well, I want you to relax and listen only to my voice. Concentrate on every part of your body, slowly. Very slowly. More and lighter. I'm going to count to 3. And you'll go back to the past. To the 3rd day.
Sleep, my little darling. I will follow you when you finally wake up. It will all be fine. Sleep, my little darling. Martin. I will follow you when you finally wake up. It will all be fine. Martin! Think about nice valleys full of cotton beds. Here comes the rain.
Argentinian whore.
So, did you figure out?
So Argentinian horror, the first movie that comes to my mind is a movie called Terrified, which is great. And the director of Terrified went on to do When Evil Lurks, which just came out last year, which was intense. The best place to watch these movies, I think, would be on Shudder. I think Shudder distributed that On the Third Day. But the reason I went with On the Third Day was because I got it on DVD. I bought it with a B movie called Sandworms or some bullshit. Weird worm movie in space. It wasn't very good. But On the Third Day caught me off guard. So Argentinian horror is kind of my new jam right now. I'm very interested in Argentinian horror. I have my little phases. There was a time when Korea has some great movies come out too as well. But there's moments when Japanese horror is really good, or French horror is really good, or I'll go back and check out the Italian wave from the 80s, and there's just if you want something, the part of horror is to experience something different, right? So something from Argentina. I don't know a lot about Argentina, but that movie fucking was sketchy and scary, and I never saw an Argentinian vampire flick before. So, and Terrified is awesome. That's a ghost movie. There's some scary stuff. I don't know. Where Evil Lurks or When Evil Lurks or whatever. That's on Shudder. Great, very very good. Okay. I threw this on here. We're getting towards the end of our list. I wasn't a big fan of the movie Terrifier, but when Terrifier 2 came out, a 12-year-old kid told me it was one of the best horror movies he'd ever seen. And I said, your mom let you watch Terrifier 2? And I went, you know what? This 12-year-old can appreciate it. I'm going to check it out.
What you're dressing up as tomorrow?
He wants to dress up as a real guy who murdered 9 people last year.
Oh, you're not doing that.
It's just a costume.
Terrifier 2 picks up right where Terrifier 1 left off.
What's up with you in this cloud?
I'm imagining Terrifier 3
obsessed.
does the same thing.
I
I
never
haven't
found his
seen
body.
it yet, but I'll
What if
catch
he
it
decides to
when
come
I
back
can.
here? I wouldn't worry about it.
Wait a minute, aren't you that guy from the costume shop?
Sir, what are you doing?
It wasn't me. He was covered in blood on his shirt and his hands when he got here.
I'm telling you, it was him, Allie. Right down to the little black dot on the tip of his nose.
You're really weird, you know that?
I believe him.
About what?
Something really bad's gonna happen tonight.
No, I know when Jonathan's lying, okay? I could hear it in his voice. Something's wrong.
Look, we're gonna have fun. Stress-free environment.
Yep. Speaking of surprises, kids, we have a very special guest with us today. All the way from Miles County, please welcome Art the Clown.
it's so over the top and graphic. I don't want to say it's fun, but it's a lot. I'm sorry. Like, look how... And those two throw down at the end of the movie. So, Damien Leone's... Leon, I don't know. I called him Donald earlier. Sorry, bro. Special effects guy, all the way. The new one's out. It's blowing up. People... It's doing really well in the box office, which is always cool for independent horror directors. So, this is fun for me because my wife will not watch these movies with me. Which means... Cool. I got something that it's, but she watched The Exorcist with me and was laughing, so I don't know what's up with that woman. All right, we're on to our final two movies. Next one is a Korean horror flick. I had to throw a Korean horror flick in here.
도착할 때까지 한시도 눈 떼지 말고.
My beautiful wife bought this movie for me. I loved
정상
it.
작동 중입니다.
Similar to From Dusk Till Dawn, where you have a prison transport movie starting off, and then it just turns into a horror movie. And shit hits the fan really fast. These convicts take over a ship and get armed and everything, and then there's something on board that they have to deal with.
니들도 배 운전할 수 있지?
배 타기 전부터 기름칠한 것 같아요.
프롬치 알파는 인간 진화의 새로운 형태를 제시할 것으로 보인다. 촌스럽게 늑대사나이 뭐야.
So funny. So fucking Frankenstein monster.
쏴!
지옥이 따로 없구만. 여기가 지옥이다.
Check it out, Project Wolf Hunting. Alright, we're gonna jump into our last trailer and end the show. This movie number 31.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
I'm gonna cut this trailer off if it gives away too much.
Yeah.
This is 476 Barbary, right?
Yeah, I'm renting this place.
No, I booked it a month ago.
Are you sure you have the right place?
Yeah. What am I supposed to do?
Why don't you come inside and we'll call these idiots. Why don't you just crash here?
Oh, no.
I don't know if you got a great look at this neighborhood, but I don't think you should be out there by yourself. It's dry and there's a lock on the door. By the way, I'm Keith.
Tess.
You take the bedroom, and I'll sleep out here on the couch.
God.
I'm gonna leave it there, just in case they fucked it up. Okay, Barbarian. Came out a couple years ago. My daughter went with her boyfriend to see it at the movies, and she came home and she's like, I don't even want to say too much. Just go to watch it. And I did. And I don't know how to... It's just one of those movies that you should just go watch, Barbarian. That's it. That is the end of my movie recommendations for Halloween 2024. I am so tired of talking right now. I might play a game in a little bit, but thank you guys for watching the stream as usual. I should be getting my Nightmare Bundle. How can I just... I should be getting my Nightmare Bundle here in about, I think on Tuesday, in which case I will open that up, and then I think next episode we'll maybe build a deck or something. I don't know if that would be interesting or not. but we'll get a deck put together. Also started playing Resident Evil 3. We got Silent Hill 2 going. Yeah, been a lot of fun streaming this month. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will be back probably in a little bit. Yeah. Later, guys.